Hi, Jeff Bailey here with my wife Lori. Welcome to Thrive in 5. In this short video, I'm going to introduce another shape. We're going to do an inverted shape at the wall, another important use of the wall. It's going to help bring mobility to your hips and help encourage movement in your low back, both of which bring more comfort, more circulation, and more freedom in your body. But first, I have to do a quick illustration here. It's just so helpful to have this visualization in your mind. So now you see how every bone wants to move against the other. And there's these little shiny surfaces that are designed to glide on each other. The compression in the intervertebral discs, the compression all around it is helpful. In case you haven't figured it out, we're using compressive forces for the benefit of the body. Now, we got this big ball and socket joint too. It's like this. It's the biggest, most central joint in the body. And as we curve, see, the hip bone rolls over the head of the femur. Now do you see the important interdependence between the hip and the low back? When we curve forward to pick up something off the floor, we curve forward to tie our shoes, we want the movement to come from both places, the hip and the low back, really the entire spine. It's super practical, and that's what we're going for here. So here's the new shape. You're going to have your legs up on the wall, and Lori's going to show you how to do that. You sit on the front edge of your yoga mat with your hips very close, if not touching the wall. And then as you roll back, you center yourself on the mat, swing your legs up. Now you may end up close to the wall, but better close to the wall than too far away. So you're going to inch back until you feel the back of the pelvis resting on the floor and your knees extending without any effort. Now in the Avita practice, we leave nothing out, and pretty soon we start to realize the importance of knee mobility on the hip and the low back. So we're going to touch into the knees here a little bit, letting the shape put passive extension on the knees. So maybe you feel a little rigidity or a little stickiness there. If you're too close to the wall, then the shape loads the hamstrings, and the hamstrings are not the problem. You just close your eyes, let your spine adapt to the floor. All right, now it's the figure 4 shape. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh near the knee. It's not on the kneecap, it's on the thigh muscle tissue just below the kneecap here. The left knee stays straight, and you feel down into your right hip primarily. That's the target. Remember, we're not going for some big stretch, although you may feel stretchy sensation. Slowly bend the left knee. Yeah, and you bend it just to the point where you may increase the stretchy sensation a little bit. You increase the sensation in the right hip, but no more than that. In fact, if you feel like you need to inch back a little bit here, do so. Lori's going to do that. I want you to feel supported between the wall and the floor.
You can even lower the heel a little bit more or raise it.
Yeah. Lori just said, if you inch back, then maybe you can lower your foot down the wall a bit. Open your hands out to the side some, palms up toward the ceiling. And feel the impact. Nothing fancy, is it? But we're using gravity in our favor. We're using the wall. We're using the floor to bring mobility now into the hip simultaneously encouraging the low back to release. They work together. Yeah. And silence is golden, isn't it? Slide your left heel up the wall and release the right heel up onto the wall. Pause a moment. Feel the difference between your two hips. And now cross the left ankle over the right. Pause a moment. Now feel the difference between your two hips. Different hip, different history, different stories. Yeah. Slowly now bend the right knee. The right foot tracks down the wall. Lots of leverage in this shape. You can imagine the risk of going too quickly. At worst, having a little setback, a little injury because you're too aggressive, or just pushing the shape too fast and missing the little tiny releases along the way that are so valuable.
Yeah, just hanging on in the first sensation instead of going too deep.
Yeah, a little reminder from Lori there to listen to and work with the first sensation, letting it resolve. So good. Slide the right foot up the wall. Release the left foot up. Pause a moment. That's good. Now we're going to bring the right knee toward the right shoulder. Interlock the fingers behind the thigh and slowly guide the knee toward the right shoulder. Just feel into the hip crease. We won't be here long. Although this is a shape, you can, again, do it anytime you find yourself on the floor. This is one you can do before you get out of bed in the morning. We're not stretching, we're reorganizing. It's the same way braces, or these days Invisalign, moves teeth through the bone. It's just steady, consistent pressure. Release your foot up and bring the left knee toward the left shoulder. Sink into the hips, sink into the groin. And then release this left foot up onto the wall. So good. And feel the peace. Remember, peace is the goal. And then bend your knees, push yourself back. Stretch your arms and legs. And then roll onto one side and use your arms, push yourself up. All right. I hope this is coming together for you, and keep visualizing that spine, that model, and how we're working through connective tissue. We're working through muscles, respecting them all along the way to encourage movement deep at the level of the bones in the low back and the hip. So this is figure 4 at the wall, and then just knee to chest at the wall. Two simple shapes that help reorganize and restructure your hips and low back. Keep your eye on your inbox. We're sending you lots of good stuff. There's more to come. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaste. All right, I hope you found this helpful. I hope you have a better understanding of the interdependence between the hip joint, that big ball and socket joint, and the lumbar spine. They're designed to move together, and so it's important that we have yoga that treats them together at the same time. Now imagine going through your whole body in a similar way, your shoulder, your knees, your feet, your hands. The same thoughtful approach works remarkably well for the joints and increased mobility in the rest of your body. Visit me at Avita Yoga Online for a whole online program. And I'd love to have you subscribe to the YouTube channel. There will be more. Thank you so much. Namaste.